Welcome to What's Hot with Janet Shield Scott podcast, a lifestyle guide to beauty, wellness, real estate, entertainment, and celebrity secrets. I feel so blessed that you tuned in, and I'm Janet Shield Scott. Thank you for listening. Today's guests, father and son, Irvin and Dante Lee, are here to share their story of being turned down for a COVID-19 test. That's right, you heard me. They were turned down for a test. And African Americans, because they're African American, and brown people are the highest hit population of this virus who are getting sick and dying. And you know who said we can all get a test. It's there. I'm not going to say who said it, but you know who said it. And we'll discuss it more after we come back from today's inspiring quotes for today. Never ignore a nudge or a whisper from God. And this was posted by at godsfruits.com. It's also posted on my Facebook page and my Instagram page, Janet Shield Scott and janetfitbeautystyle.com. So if you would have a quote that you'd like to share, you can email me, janetfitbeauty@gmail.com. All right, welcome Irvin and Dante Lee to the show. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Janet? How you feeling today? This is Irvin Lee.
Okay.
I'm just fine. It's a pleasure. Thank you for supporting us.
All right.
Yes, we appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, so Irvin's the father, Dante's the son.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Now, the CDC has reported that the effects of the COVID-19 has hit minority groups in devastating record numbers. But I don't know which one. Was it Dante? You weren't feeling well. You went to get a test and you were denied. Explain what happened to us, please.
Okay, so this was about 2 months ago, back in March. I started feeling the symptoms of the virus, specifically shortness of breath and trouble breathing. I felt it actually a couple of days before I went to go and attempt to get tested. But the day that I went to the hospital, it was really, really constant. It was really intense. And I've never experienced a problem like that before in my life. So I went to the emergency room. I was admitted. And essentially at the end of the day, I was told that I did not qualify for a test. And I was pretty much sent home with no diagnosis, no prescription or nothing.
So how did you take care of yourself, or what did you do after that?
So my biggest concern was protecting my family. I didn't want to infect others. And I just kind of self-quarantined for a little bit. And then I just kind of took the matter into my own hands as far as keeping up my lifestyle, making sure that I continue to eat right and take vitamins and just boost my immune system.
Well, did you contact your doctor or get an appointment, or what happened with that?
So I had initially contacted my doctor. My doctor was the one who told me to go to the hospital to get tested. And so I followed his instructions and went to the hospital. And then that's when I found out that I was being refused a test.
Wow. How did you feel when that happened?
I mean, it was disappointing and it was frustrating. I mean, anytime you go to the emergency room, as you know, you have to wait a while in the first place to be seen. But to be experiencing those type of symptoms and then to feel or to receive the answer that you're not going to receive a test, it was disappointing. At the same time, it was scary because, again, this is a very contagious virus and you really need to know whether or not you have it or not so that you can really make sure that you're not infecting others around you, especially your loved ones.
So did you ever find out whether or not you actually had COVID-19?
No, I never did confirm that. But I went ahead and started pretty much behaving as if I did just to protect others.
And so you did the 14-day quarantine?
Yes. Yep. I did a quarantine and I minimized my contact with others. And then I made sure, of course, which I still do, make sure to always use hand sanitizer, always wear a face mask. And anything else that's been suggested by the CDC, we implement that.
What did you do to alleviate the symptoms, though? The shortness of breath and all that. What did you take anything? Or?
So I just kind of started boosting myself with vitamin C and zinc. I didn't have anything particular to take for the breathing problem, but I would just tried to manage it the best that I could. I mean, that was the thing. When I left that hospital, not only did I not receive a diagnosis, but I didn't even receive a list of suggestions on how to deal with the symptoms that I was experiencing.
I know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, did you take cold medicine, or did you hot tea with honey, the hot toddies or something?
Tea. Yeah, ginger tea. I believe in taking a lot of natural supplements. I took some silver colloidal. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, that's the frustration. I think that's why we're speaking with you today, because my situation obviously didn't turn out fatal. I'm still here, but I think
God. Yeah,
thank God. But I think all of us have heard of multiple cases where people did go to get tested, and they were actually, infected with the disease, with the virus, and then unfortunately they later died. And there are cases where some people were denied tests multiple times, and most of these were African Americans.
So, do you know of other people other than yourself that went to and were denied and passed away, or denied and actually had COVID-19?
No, but I've read of at least 5 different cases. There was one case of a young man in Michigan who was a college student who was denied the test 3 times, and he later died, sadly. And then recently I heard of a story of an African-American nurse who was working at a hospital and started feeling the symptoms, was denied the test 3 times by the very hospital that she worked at. And then she too, as well, unfortunately passed away from the virus.
Wow. Yeah, I think that was in Michigan somewhere. I remember reading that in the notes. And so, okay, you did that while you were in quarantine, and then having to also deal with all these thoughts coming at you and not feeling well. How did you deal with that?
I mean, I don't know if I had much of a choice other than to just try to figure it out on my own. And I think that's the frustration, because you hear all these celebrities in the media that are able to effortlessly get these tests, even if they're not even showing symptoms. But yet the common people, specifically Black and brown people, seem to have trouble even getting a test. So it was very frustrating. I mean, it was scary for a moment.
But what were some of the things that you did while you were in quarantine? I know you just didn't sit there and watch TV. Is that where you guys came up with this catchy tune, Corona or Rona? What's it called? Rona.
It's called the coronavirus song or the Rona song. I'll let my dad explain to you how he came to.
Okay, but just quickly before that. So what did you do? Did you read books, or what did you do while you were quarantining yourself?
Yeah, reading books. I mean, I work from home, so I still had to kind of manage work that. And then I just kind of learned to breathe. The breathing, the shortness of breath that I was experiencing, one of the things I implemented was just some breathing exercises that would kind of relax my lungs a little bit and make sure I was getting enough oxygen. But when you're in quarantine, I mean, I guess there's not a whole lot that you can do other than to pray and then try to implement whatever natural remedies you're aware of. And then just try to, keep yourself calm mentally and emotionally.
Okay. All right. So tell us about the song now, Irvin.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I actually had experience with my son. So I was, when he came back and he returned home, with not knowing anymore, then when we left, and like you said, and then your mind is preoccupied. So you don't know if you have it, you don't know if you're infected, you don't know if you're infecting people, and like I said, not being able to breathe. Me and my son are into health style living, and so neither one of us have ever had a condition where we couldn't breathe.
And I bet you, as a father, were just devastated by not knowing what's happening with your son.
like I said, absolutely, absolutely devastated because, you just don't, I didn't expect it to happen the way it happened. In other words, not to get denied, to get the denied a test, I was aware of that from the media, but I thought there was some other resolution to it if you didn't get the test. And like he was telling you, when he came back, he knew no more than when he left. He didn't get a test, and then he didn't get anything. He don't know nothing, and he might as well stay at home.
Where do you guys live?
Right now we're in the San Diego area. Oh. I'm from Hawaii, yeah. So we're in the San Diego area now. Mm-hmm. So like I said, yes, it was extremely frustrating. Because he couldn't breathe, and he got a little worse before he got better. He's being modest now, and we're thankful, man. We like I said, we resorted to praying, and like I said, because we're into healthy solutions, you get heavier into that by looking up what you should be taking for this and that, so that's, and we were already eating okay, but of course you eat a little more healthier during that period to keep your immune system up. But I'm just saying, and if we're looking back on it, it's all, it's all plausible to say, hey, okay, well, it worked out. But during the situation, it was tense. My concern was because a lot of people who had been refused were coming back home, and they were going to bed and not waking up in the morning. So every night that he had to go to bed, I was concerned, because he couldn't breathe. When you can't breathe, I don't understand the logic of not being able to breathe. And normally when you go to a hospital, they are anxious to give you a test. Anxious. Even if you don't need one, they're giving you tests. But all of a sudden, with this disease, the testing becomes something optional, and it's got to be rough for anybody who comes in with a serious condition, and then they're looking at you like, well, we can't help you. So
yeah, because you could be having a heart attack or anything at that point if you shortness of breath.
Yeah, shortness of breath is serious. That's right. That's right. It's serious.
Yeah. Now, so did you feed him things through the door, or how did you? Because I know you were compelled probably to go in and do whatever you could, but you needed to stay quarantined. So what part did you play in trying to help him keep his nutrition up and his vitamins and whatever it is that he was, the regimen that he was on?
Well, like I said, he quarantined himself. That's the first thing he did. So, he wanted us to stay away from him because he didn't know and we didn't know. And, so if he needed something, from the store, of course we took care of that. But he self-quarantined himself because like I said, he just didn't know. And,
So did you feed the food to him through the door, or that's what I'm trying to say? How did if you're quarantining, how does he get his food and his nutrition and stuff?
So we live separately. We live close to each other, but we live separately.
Oh.
So my wife and I are the only ones that live in our home. And yes, my wife would
and this is Dante talking now.
This is Dante talking, yeah. So my wife would definitely, I guess you could say it that way, feed me through the door or just minimize her contact when providing meals and stuff like that. Oh, okay. And then always, whenever someone would enter the room, they would have a mask on to protect themselves. And I would put my mask on as well to protect them.
All right. Then, so Irvin, where did this song come from? Was this something that you had been thinking of when the virus came out, or did this just come out after your son was or got sick?
Yeah, the idea came after he got sick, but mainly, when he started to recover. Because you have two different mindsets. When he's sick, you got one mindset, and that one doesn't include no song. You know what I'm saying? But the second mindset, after it starts to recover, and you can look back, and you're still frustrated, but at least the frustration is in a different direction now. And so, and you want to do something, and that's where the song came in. That's where the song came in. The idea of the song started. Normally, I write songs from time to time, and I have people sing them. But because of COVID-19, I didn't have access to singers, so therefore I had an idea of a song. My son was, suggesting it, but we didn't have a singer, so it was kind of dying out. And then my son goes, "Dad, you got to do the song, and Dad, you got to sing it," and that's how. And I hadn't sung in years, and so when I really wasn't crazy about singing anymore, I really just liked writing and working with singers. But anyway, all said and done, he was right. You know, COVID-19, I was watching videos. People were reinventing themselves, while they were home. So, if I sung the song, it could be done. So other than that, it wasn't going to get done. So that was it. So I messed around with it for a few days, getting my voice ready, practicing, and that kind of thing. Because I hadn't sung in a while. So that's it. But once I convinced myself, along with my son's encouragement, that you can do it, I started writing the song in the key of me singing it, and here we are, with the song.
All right, and so what's your musical background? You worked with other professionals or what?
Yes. Like I said, yeah, I've been around music. I worked in music industry years ago with doing some promotion, but as a what you call an undiscovered writer producer, I've been around, for decades, doing projects, trying to get it going, So you know how that goes. The only thing that's changed now that I like that wasn't around when I was doing it mostly is that we have the new social media thing where you can go ahead and, complete a project now and put it out. You don't have to worry about somebody telling you it's good, it's not good, you can sing, you can't sing. So I like that we don't have the gatekeeper anymore. One person deciding, whether your project, reaches the media. So I really like this new platform. So that's also was encouraging to do it, because I knew when I worked hard and we did it, and if it worked out, we could just release it without having to get somebody's permission or somebody else's perspective or point of view.
All right. So it's on Spotify, YouTube. You have a YouTube video out, and iTunes and other music platforms?
Yes, all the digital platforms. Yes.
All right. And what are your social handles?
So the social handles are, this is Dante speaking, the social handles can all be accessed via the website, the official website for the song, which is coronavirussong.com.
And what are your takeaways from all that you've experienced through this entire event that you've gone through the sickness, the denial, the quarantine? What's your takeaway for the both of you?
Okay, I'll start. Dante will start. Basically, our takeaway, I guess, is about creating awareness. So music is so powerful, and it speaks to the volumes. It speaks to the masses. And our takeaway was to create awareness about this virus and to kind of use the song to be a voice that resonates with what not just African Americans, but what Black people as a whole are going through when it comes to this virus. Because the same thing that we're going through here in the States, believe it or not, is happening in other countries like the UK. CNN just released an article.
Yeah, because it started over in other countries.
Yeah. And CNN just released an article saying that Black people in the UK are 4 times more likely to die from the virus than their white counterparts. But yet you see that not everybody is taking this as serious, and some people still believe that this is a hoax. So we want to create awareness that, one, this is real, it is serious, it should be taken seriously. But also we wanted to use the song to kind of be something that people can resonate with, because we know that we're not the only ones who've experienced not being able to receive a test. And sadly, a lot of people out there who denied a test died from it. So there's families out there who are, suffering because of that. So this song was designed, my dad created this song to to be a source of comfort to those people out there. And then it's kind of also like, and maybe he can elaborate on this more, it's a plea. Like he talks about it's time to pray in the song.
Mm-hmm. And then, Irvin, you also said that some of your influences were Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, some of the other artists from that genre.
Yes, absolutely, because I grew up in a time where music, had, spoke to social events, was relative to a lifestyle, love, heartbreak, that party and whatever else was going on a serious tone. So we had a nice perspective of music around us, that we could relate to, in context of what's going on.
Yeah, because Marvin Gaye was "What's Going On" was so relevant today.
You you can play it right. That's right. I said that the other day. You can play it right. You can play the Marvin Gaye album right now, and it's relevant. And so what happened when we had that situation? I went online to search some of coronavirus songs, and out of these guys are joking and laughing or talking about how the quarantine is inconveniencing them, and all that's fine. It's free expression. But I just didn't hear anything that was talking about the serious side of the virus, and what was going on from anybody's experience. So that was also a motivation and then I'm learning that this generation of listeners really don't write music that's relevant to, things that are going on around them. Anyway, so based on that, that was my motivation. My takeaway is that I want to use a platform where music is a platform that, no matter what the age, genre, everybody's listening to music. It's much easier now because on our devices, it's much easier to have access. It's much easier to click and download it and add it to your playlist. And so you don't have to go nowhere to do it. So my thing is, I wanted to be on a platform, and I want to be, and I wanted to contribute to having a sound that's speaking to, because right now, a lot of the young people's music, you can't even follow it lyrically because it's not even saying anything lyrically. So my thing is, this is an opportunity to put something out there that's filling a void, on a very, very, very serious issue.
Yes, it is very serious.
Yeah, so for all people, especially blacks, and even though I know some of us are wavering and this and that and over on one end or the other, I know in time, as this thing progresses and the body count continues, people will start to come over. I just wanted to make my contribution through a song with a serious tone, and I've talked to some young people who've heard it, and they get it, and that's my point. I know, mature adults are going to get it. I just want to make sure that they have something they can resonate with, because I was listening to the news. I was listening to Dr. Fauci last night, and just in short, he said we're about to see a wave that we might not be able to recover from because we're opening too soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, Irvin and Dante Lee, I want to thank you so much for bringing this topic to What's Hot with Janet Shield Scott, myself, and to the listeners, and peace and blessings to you both.
Thank you for having us on the show. And again, people can listen to the song for free on all major streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, and they can just go directly to the website, coronavirussongs.com.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Do you need a speaker or career image workshops or even a panel judge? Hire Janet. Email janetfitbeauty@gmail.com. You've been listening to What's Hot with Janet Shield Scott podcast, a division of Janet Fit Beauty Style, your lifestyle guide to fitness, beauty, fashion, wellness, real estate, and entertainment. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for more exciting information. Log on to janetfitbeautystyle.com. Let's close out with a coronavirus song.
I was in the store just the other day. I was trying my best to keep 6 feet away. I could see the fear that was in their eyes from the people in masks who were passing by. I'm washing my hands every night and day. Can somebody tell me I'm gonna be okay? I'm down on my knees, that's all I can say. What time is it now? It's time to pray. Rona has got me on my knees. If you can hear me, help me, please. What does it mean to be self-quarantined. I'm fighting something that can't be seen. If I get infected, or maybe you, how we gon' tell who infected who? I'm washing my hands every night and day. Can somebody tell me I'm gonna be okay? I'm down on my knees, that's all I can say. What time is it now? It's time to pray.